Hey, hi everyone. So in this video, I'm going to give you a short demonstration on how to use Meshmixer. So Meshmixer is a free and open source 3D modeling editing software, and it's available for both Mac and Windows. You can tell by the name that it was originally created to mix various meshes into one. So if you take a look at the Monsters in Meshmixer tutorial by Valeria Vitali, you can see a tutorial on how to mix these surfaces to create your own 3D monsters. However, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you the basics of the interface and how to use certain tools to edit your existing 3D model. So once you download the software, this is the opening screen. So you can import your model, open an existing project. There's also a PDF with all the keyboard shortcuts. And you can also start creating a 3D model by importing different meshes. So we're going to import a 3D model. I'm importing an OBJ. And if you have the MTL and JPEG files in the same folder as the OBJ, they will all import together. So here we have it. So some things you'll want to get used to are the navigation tools. So to tumble your model, you can just hold down the right mouse button, or you can also, I believe it's Alt and left. To pan, just hold down the center mouse button, and to zoom, just scroll with your mouse button. So it's our pretty easy navigation tools. Some other keyboard shortcuts, obviously Control Z for undoing, Control Y for redoing. If you want to bring up the preferences window, it's T. No, sorry, it is Alt T. Yeah. T is the transform tool, which we'll talk about later. So the first thing I want to do is you notice that the plane is above the model and it's orientated the way I don't want it to be. So what we're going to do is use the transform tool. So you can either go to edit, transform, or press T. And to fix the orientation, I'm just going to use these tools here and just rotate and move it along the axis. Yeah, that's just a bit easier to work with now. And you just press accept. Let's start doing something else. Okay. So some other tools that you'll use is the select tool. And this is in case you have, if you didn't clean up your mesh in Agisoft, for instance, and you have areas floating around that you don't want, you can use the brush tool or the lasso up here. And just to create a selection of something that you don't want. You can also change the size of the brush, something like this. And when you are, if you've selected something and you want to deselect it, it's Shift left. And if you want to select the entire object, it is Control A. for selecting all of it. Cancel is escape. And yeah, and once you've selected an area, you can also do various things with it, such as erasing and filling it, remeshing. If I erase and fill, then yeah, it basically deleted that mesh and created a new one, but it doesn't have texture on top of it now. So just beware when you are doing this. So I'm going to clear the selection. Another tool is the sculpt tool. You probably won't use this too much if you're working on a scan of an object. It's more so if you are creating a 3D mesh on here. But just to show you some various things, such as the flatten brush. So if you want to flatten the surface, you can go along with it. And just undo is Control-Z. And you can change the strength of that and the size of the brushes. The next thing, which you will probably use more often, is the plane cut tool. So if you go into Edit and Plane Cut, what this does is it creates a cut in the mesh. So you can cut it and discard everything that you cut, or you can just separate them. And if you do that, it might be useful for creating a like a cross section of your mesh. But what I want to use it for is creating a flat base on my model. And you would want to use that if you are 3D printing your object. So to do that, I would drag the plane down where I want to cut it. And just trying to get it a little bit more even. You can see the green is everything that will be cut. And you can choose to refill it immediately. I'm going to say no fill for now. And accept. Now we have the flat bottom. And I did that because I want to show you one of the most important tools, which is the inspector tool. So you find that in Analysis and go to Inspector. And what this does is points out all the errors that are in your mesh. So obviously we have a huge hole at the bottom now. And I also had a hole in the spout. There weren't too many errors in this mesh, but sometimes you'll find that almost the entire surface is made up of these highlights. And there's different colors to indicate different things. So the blue indicates that there is a hole, but there's also a red highlight and a magenta one. And the red one, if I can bring up the Autodesk tutorial, you can see here the blue indicates a hole. The red indicates it's a non-manifold surface. So this is something that needs to be fixed in order to do any editing or filling of this area. And then you also have a magenta color. And as you can see, it indicates a small area unconnected from the rest of the mesh. So what it does when you choose to fix this error, is that instead of filling these gaps here, it will just delete the pink highlighted area. So then you're left with a larger hole, which it can then fill. The downside of this is that when you create more holes in your mesh and you have to fill it, it lowers the resolution. So just something to be aware of. But when you are 3D printing an object, you do want it to be watertight. So it is often a good idea just to press Repair All, and it'll fix everything for you. Another thing to keep in mind, if you do have many errors and press Repair All, is going to take quite a while to repair it. So I just want to fix this hole in the bottom. Let's see if it works. Okay, so that fixed the hole in the bottom and left us with a flat surface, and it shows a color similar to the rest of the object. So, and I can also choose to fill this hole too if I want. And done. And yeah, those are the very basics of Meshmixer. You can see that there are many other tools you can use. So it's just something to play around with. And when you're ready to save it, you can export. And if you are wanting to 3D print this model, you should export as an STL file. So there you go. Good luck.